According to a new Washington Post report, what has mostly been done behind closed doors is expected to become more public.
Right now, it seems as if the committee is moving towards this phase of what did the president do in that time period between when the rioters breached the Capitol and when the former president, actually made his statement, his public statement. I think it was like 4-something p.m. That those 2 to 3 hours of inaction on the part of former President Trump are key here in what the committee is looking at. And that's what we are going to be, I believe, hearing in the near future. But again, as you said, they have done hundreds of interviews, and there's some key interviews that they would like to conduct in the next few weeks, several of which involve sitting members of Congress.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and 2022 is upon us, and get ready. The special committee is going public, and they are taking off the gloves. Sitting members of Congress, you know, the ones that committed treason and tried to overthrow the government and steal an election, yeah, those people are going to be forced to testify publicly with what they did and who they did it with. The courts have already set the precedent for what happens when you don't comply with the subpoena from the special committee, so you get arrested, just like Steve Bannon and with Mark Meadows being next. Jim Jordan, Marjorie Trainwreck Green, Breitbart Boebert, Nazi Ghoster, Loose Tooth Gohmert, and Bootlicker Biggs, all of them that participated in the coordination of the January 6th insurrection are going to be forced to answer for their actions publicly and shamefully. Of course, these are people that have no shame, so I guess we will all get to see how they react. Now, let me just lay this out for you guys before you start hearing this all over cable next year. The entire defense of the Congressional Treason Caucus will be executive privilege. You can't subpoena me. I was talking to the president about privileged information. Not so fast. You see, only the current president can assert executive privilege. And I don't think President Biden, you know, the guy who got 81 million votes, a record, by the way, is in much of a rush to get these clowns out of jail, which is exactly where they're going to be going once the special committee is done with them. The special committee does not actually have the power to charge anyone. If they find any evidence, they will present it to the Attorney General, and from there, criminal charges will or won't be filed. Now, let me make this clear. President Biden is not denying Trump's request for executive privilege for political reasons. He's denying them because there is nothing privileged about the information that is requested. Trump planned, strategized, financed, executed, and tried to cover up an insurrection against our government. The members of Congress that make up the Treason Caucus aided him in his failed attempt, and they're going to go down. The question is, who is going to be the first to turn on the rest of them? Just like the mob, ladies and gentlemen, there's always that one that cuts themselves a sweet deal and brings down the ship. It's only a matter of time, folks.
Members who actually had conversations with the former president and former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, because you have to remember, Mark Meadows was a member of Congress for many years and had very close relationships with a lot of the conservatives in the GOP. He spoke to those individuals as well, and the committee wants to get to the bottom of what they were recommending to former President Trump about taking action, and what they discussed with him in the lead up to that rally.
Now, I hope that 2022 is the year of accountability for all these people. I want to see justice served. I want everyone to have their faith restored in our judicial process. And I want to see Trump in handcuffs more than anything. So stay tuned, folks. It's going to be great for us to watch and not so great for them. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.